Hello, class of 2020. My name is Elena Carreño, and I'm a proud CISA graduate and member of the Dean's Advisory Council. First, I'd like to thank Dean Rohn for inviting me to speak today. It's been an honor to serve on his advisory council and observe the care and dedication that he and the faculty puts into CISA's students and programs. And of course, I'd like to thank you, class of 2020, for allowing me to spend a few minutes to share my story and my thoughts with you. 2020. It's been an interesting year, to say the least. In late 2019, I decided to leave the corporate world and start my own human resources consulting practice. And then the surprise, 2020 happened. But in an effort to keep this positive, I'm also going to thank 2020. Thanks for reminding me how many good people I have in my life, even if I can't hug them right now. Thanks for reminding me that even though borders and oceans separate us, we are all on this earth together. Thanks for making traffic better in LA, even though I don't have anywhere to go. And thanks for reminding me to keep saving money for a rainy day, or in our case, 2020. There's a perceived truth that there's this blueprint to life, one that society accepts, expects us to follow, one that we are measured by. So we take that blueprint and embark on a journey to success with great intentions. But life blesses us with surprises, sometimes when we need them, and sometimes when it's the last thing that we need. As our story unfolds, the blueprint changes and starts to become our own. My story, my blueprint, is as unique as yours. My hope is that we can learn to honor each other's stories for their varied wisdoms. So my story starts in Mexico, where I was born. At 4 years old, we moved to a Chicano neighborhood in San Diego, where I grew up. Beginning in 4th grade, I was bused into a mostly white middle-class school through an integration program. It was then that I started to feel that I didn't quite fit in, sometimes not Mexican enough, and sometimes the poor bus kid. But I was a social, clever, curious, mischievous kid, which was a great recipe for making friends and a not so great recipe for staying out of trouble. My parents tried really hard, but they worked a lot, and without much guidance and supervision, I was navigating a full-fledged identity crisis by 13 years old. And so it started, ditching schools, fighting, sneaking out of the house. And when I was 15, I got my first job bussing tables in a restaurant. You'd think that 20+ hours a week of work while still in school would keep me out of trouble. Of course not. By the summer of 10th grade, I'd accomplished things like getting fired from my job, wrecking my mom's car, and getting arrested. My decisions definitely weren't following any blueprint. But one thing I knew for sure, I had to finish high school. During this time, a kind police officer saw potential in me. He looked beyond my trips to the wild side and became invested in my outcomes. Officer DeLucia's help allowed me to get a paying job at the police department, buy a rusty old car, and steer clear of trouble. After getting back on track, college still wasn't an option for me, so I joined the Marine Corps, where I learned that I had far more mental and physical strength than I thought. After serving for 6 years, I started my career in the civilian world, which would end up testing that strength. I had no plan. I honestly didn't have dreams. I was just getting by. But I worked hard, and over the next few years, I established my career in human resources. I worked my way up the corporate ladder. All of this without a degree. It was hard, but I did it. All of this to say, my story, my blueprint, was rich and provided me with valuable experiences and lessons, all while being unconventional. Your path is unique. You'll make decisions, some you'll look back on and question. But if you act with integrity, do good, and be just, You'll look back on those decisions and you'll know you made them with the best intentions. And let's not accept labels on ourselves or impose them on others. As you go forth into the world, I challenge you to reframe how you see others' journeys. Find the beauty. Listen, learn. Honor what everyone brings to the table, just as you would like them to honor what you bring. And what would a speech be without some general advice? Be curious. Never stop learning. Our future depends on it. Be accountable for yourself. Take wins with humility and own your mistakes to build your credibility. Be authentic. If the real you isn't showing up, then how do you know if you're where you're supposed to be? And be a good influence. Surround yourself with people who enrich your life and look back to enrich the lives of others. Class of 2020, no matter where you're sitting right now, what your experience has been, I see you for all the beauty and complexities, and I hope you see me too. Congrats, class of 2020. May your future be full of great experiences, valuable lessons, and a lot of success and happiness. Thank you.